What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in today for another episode of Niners News here on 49ers Hive. My name is Zach Hernandez, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Matt Llewellyn. And today we're going to be talking about Joe Staley and his recent weight loss. Matt, there are some pictures going around social media right now of Joe. It looks like he's screaming like a monster, but he also looks a lot thinner. Is this kind of the new norm for offensive linemen that retire from the NFL?
I think with social media, it's the new norm. We've seen it recently with Joe Thomas. Before that, we saw it with Nick Hardwick, who was the center for the Chargers, who retired. And it just goes to show how difficult the NFL can be on the human body as far as, Joe had to retire all of a sudden because of, a lingering neck issue that he had. I think it was spinal stenosis that put him at risk, and it's amazing how all these offensive linemen, after they're done playing with whatever malady they have, they all seem to just drop weight. And I think that just goes to show how much they have to eat to maintain weight, to bulk up and do all this stuff. And, it's a wonder that anybody makes it as long as, Joe Staley did, because obviously it's really apparent that his body did not want to carry that weight, just like Joe Thomas's body did not want to carry that weight. You kind of have to force yourself, it's like the movies where you see a guy like, Chris Hemsworth or somebody or Chris Evans, they got to bulk up for these superhero roles. And, they all talk about it. Man, eating was like a full-time job. All I did was shovel food into my mouth, because I had to get those extra calories to stay bulked up. And that's just for acting. We're talking about a professional athlete who, for the course of, seasons upon seasons upon seasons, had to keep that weight up because he played a position that was so physically demanding and needed him to be a certain size. And the physical exertion that comes day in, day out with practice, the calorie expenditure there. So, I can't even imagine what was on Joe Staley's plate or what his dinner bills were, but I'm sure it was something obscene. And it's good to see that, and as he calls it, it's a conceit, he wanted to see some abs and stuff, but, it's good to see that he's listening to his body and allowing it to come back down. Cause man, it's baffling to me how those guys do it.
Yeah, he looks crazy. He looks like he lost a whole Joe Staley.
Yeah.
He's so thin. And like you said, it just speaks to what these guys go through to keep their body in NFL shape. There's being ready and athletic, and then there's being NFL ready and in shape for NFL play. And that's what he's been pretty much his whole career with the 49ers for, the better part of a decade and a half. How long is he with this team? Since 2005, 2006, I think?
2005, I think, yeah.
Yeah, so about 15 years this guy's been in tip-top shape, essentially, and he is looking really, really thin. And, yeah, I think, that speaks to him trying to enjoy his life now. He's not having to put his body through the tough stress and rigors of an NFL training camp and an NFL diet. So it's a lot to deal with, but it looks
2007, by the way. 2007 was when he was drafted. So about 14 years, if you count however the breakdown does with the years or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah. So, it's crazy to think how quickly these guys can lose weight when the normal person will go on a diet and work out for months and lose 40 pounds. And then Joe Staley can retire in, April and lose 80 pounds by now. It's just crazy. But, Matt, do you think that he will possibly get back into coaching? I know this is kind of off topic of weight loss, but do you think that a return to the 49ers in any sort of facility is in his future?
That's probably where it's going. You see a lot of these guys that just either get into broadcasting or coaching. They want to do something. It makes sense, especially with how much passion he had about the game. With the injury, you think about it, and did he really get to retire on his own terms? Yeah, that's one of those things where, I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, I'm looking at his player profile, and it looked like he played. His listed playing weight was 315. Man, that man looks like he's like a svelte 205 in that picture. We got to remember, I think he's like 6'5", 6'6", something like that. He's a tall dude. So for him to lose that type of weight, and he said in his when he talked about it, he said, "Man, I went from a size 40 to a size 36 in a month." As far as that's 4 inches off his waist. So it's pretty crazy, man.
That's insane. Yeah, he's a big man. And while we're on the topic of Joe Staley, Matt is wearing our signature "Come at Me Bro" T-shirt. We still have some available for sale if you guys like them. Commemorate Joe Staley's career, his retirement, and hit us up if you guys want a T-shirt. They're 50% off right now. But back to the topic at hand. Yeah, Joe Staley, he kind of reminds me of like a Pat McAfee, to where he could totally have a career in broadcasting and podcasting.
Or apparently pro wrestling. I don't know if you saw that, but
yeah.
Pat McAfee's going to be a pro wrestler now. I don't know.
Yes, apparently that too. But I really do think that Joe Staley at some point down the line will return to the 49ers. He was asked about it, if I remember correctly, when he retired, and he pretty much said, look, I'm not ruling it out, but for now, I just need to spend time with my family. I've been away for so long, and I really just need to put them first for once. So,
and I think that's part of the weight loss too. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, man, you get beaten down, I mean, NFL's a physical sport. Now think about all the weight that you're carrying on top of that when you're at 315, he probably wants to play with his kids and, hang out with his wife and do all this stuff. And maybe he does go the Pat McAfee route where he has a podcast or a show. I mean, we all know the Joe Show. He has the personality to do whatever he wants. And he's a 49ers legend, and the door will always be open for him. It's just good to see him in a happy and healthy spot. And, I wish him all the best because, he's probably top 5 49er for me all time, just from all the way around. Like, he's just such a fantastic part of the 49ers legacy. So it's good to see him in a healthy spot after so many years of injuries and, stuff like that, especially last year where he missed so many games and, his career was ended by injury. And I wish we would have got him the Super Bowl victory. But, he looks good, man. He looks good.
He does. And I'll say this, when the 49ers win it this year, I'm sure they'll be sure to send him a ring.
Absolutely.
But I think we'll leave it at that, guys. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Our handles are below on the screen. And I want to thank you guys for tuning into this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button and drop a comment below. What are your thoughts on Joe Staley's recent weight loss?
Yeah, go ahead and click the bell for all your notifications. And until next time, go Niners.